Joining us now, Republican Senator Kit Bond, Vice Chair of the Intelligence Committee. Senator, thank you very much for joining us. First of all, let's talk about Pakistan.
Thank you,
can we have a body? There's no DNA evidence. Can we assume just by his silence that the Taliban leader is dead? What evidence do we have?
Well, that's a help, and obviously I can't go into the intelligence, but our best judgment is that Hekmair Massoud, who was the young, new takeover violent head of the Massoud gang in the Taliban, is dead. That's a good start.
What is the state of play there? We had all of those horrific bombings for a period, and now we've lost 3 more American service people. The Taliban's still active, but we've been able to decapitate them one by one. There's been some progress here in Pakistan, has there not?
Clearly there's progress. Our resources are working closely with the Pakistan government, taking out the top people. That is good. There are still lots of bad people running around there, but without good leadership, they are much less dangerous.
Yemen is now the biggest threat. The growing franchised al-Qaeda in the Arabian Peninsula group in Yemen, the group that sent the Christmas Day bomber, the group that was influencing, of course, Major Hassan as well. What have we learned after all of your briefings this week about the state of play in Yemen?
Unfortunately, we could have learned a lot more from Abdullah Muttalib, the underpants bomber, if they had not Mirandized him after talking to him only 50 minutes. They needed to question him with the full time to study up on other intelligence information available and get that information. Now the administration says he's talking, but that's a real problem too.
Well, you've written a letter to the president. Let me quote a bit from it. You said, "I cannot understand, Mr. President, why the sudden cooperation by Abdul Muttalib would be broadcast publicly to the media in detail when your intelligence chiefs are unanimously warning that another attack on the country is imminent." At the same time, as you well know, there's been criticism from the Attorney General. He's written back to a number of senators complaining that the complaints against the way the FBI handled this are unwarranted. And the Attorney General wrote, "No agency supported the use of law of war detention for Abdul Muttalib, and no agency has since advised the Department of Justice that an alternative course of action should have been or should now be pursued." It's a lot of tit for tat and a lot of shooting back and forth from the two sides of Pennsylvania Avenue here.
Let me explain something for you, Andre, and your viewers. Number one, when we were briefed on the fact that Abdullah Muttalib was cooperating on Monday, we were told that this was highly secret, highly classified information that should not be leaked. Director Mueller told me, please do not bring this up in an open hearing, because if our enemies know that Abu Muttalib is cooperating, it will drive our leads away. We won't be able to get after them. And at the same time, we were being briefed in an open session. The administration apparently was developing a whole media strategy to show how great they were by what Abdullah Muttalib was doing. Now, that ruined the advantage we had when the information was secret, not to mention the fact that Abdullah Muttalib's family, who are the ones that got him to talk, are probably at great risk in Nigeria from terrorist retaliation. That's one point.
So you're basically saying that the White House briefings, the backgrounders, whatever else took place, had jeopardized possible operations on the ground. Is that your suggestion?
It's not my suggestion. That's what the intelligence community leaders told my staff. That's what Director Mueller told me. He urged us not to ask the question.
Didn't it come out of the hearings, though? I mean, didn't Dennis Blair, the head of the Director of National Intelligence, make this public during the threat assessment testimony?
There was one question asked. It was asked of FBI Director Mueller. I tried to stop that question from being asked. The FBI director at the time, maybe operating under new instructions, answered yes, he is cooperating. That's all that was said. But had he really wanted to keep it secret, the simple answer is any questioning should be, I will discuss with you in a classified hearing. But then the White House went out and talked all about Abdullah Muttalib's family coming over and the fact that he had been talking for about 3 days. That is the information they told us the Intelligence Committee could not afford to have out because it would destroy their opportunities to pursue information he gave them.
Just very briefly, Senator, in the time that's remaining, everyone was very taken aback by the answer to Senator Feinstein's question to all of the intelligence chiefs about whether they anticipated another attack being planned. Were you taken aback by those answers as well, or is that what you would anticipate is the case and is always the case ever since 9/11?
Unfortunately, what they said was there will be more attempts. I think we all knew there were going to be more attempts. It was not that the attack is guaranteed, but with the fact that we know there's so many attempts happening, using the information that Abdullah Muttalib was able to give us in his second round of questioning last week would have given us significant advantage in stopping further terrorist attacks. Had we been able to question him at the time of his arrest rather than having Mirandized, we could have gotten that information 5 weeks earlier. This was an unfortunate interference from the Department of Justice and in the White House in an ongoing intelligence investigation critical to our nation's safety.
Well, thank you very much, Senator Bond. I know the White House is going to push back really hard on this. This is not going to be the end of it.
Bring them on. I'll be happy to talk with them about it.
Thank you.